So we just went ahead and unboxed everything right over here. Let me show you guys what we got. First things first, we're starting off with these right over here. I got two different sets of wheel spacers to fix the rear's fitment. This one right here, I believe, is an 8mm, and this one right here, I believe, is a 5. The reason why I got two is we're gonna try both of these out, and hopefully the fitment is good with either one of these. One of them we're gonna return because we're not gonna be using. And I got 5mm because I've run them before with no issues, but I do want to step it up to 8mm and hope I don't have to run extended studs like I do in the front. At the end of the day, if I have to run extended studs to go ahead and run these, then we'll go ahead and do this later, but I'm pretty excited to see which one looks better, the 8mm or the 5mm. But in order to install those, we needed these. I got SPC toe arms. These rear lower control arms took a while to come in, but as you guys can see, the way they are manufactured, this is supposed to drop the car, I believe, 60mm. It's also red, and that's gonna match the build, so it works out perfectly. But these right here are the Stan's V2 control arms, and these were pretty expensive. Okay, so we're currently underneath the car, and it seems like this bolt, and this bolt right here are 17mm. This one is very rusted on, so I gotta be careful on this one. I will replace this with a new one, but these are mainly 17, so you just have to remove all these bolts and then the end link right over here as well. Okay, so we went ahead and got the control arm removed. As you guys can see, it's in pretty rough condition. There's rust all over it, and it's never been taken off of the car ever since the car was made. So this control arm right here is pretty simple to remove as long as your bolts aren't rusted. It just makes it a lot harder if it is. As you guys can see, we had to use a ton of PB Blaster to get these bolts out. But once these are out, the control arm basically drops, and then you can just go ahead and remove it. This right here is the toe arm. Again, this is also in pretty rough condition, but all we had to do was remove 2 bolts, and it came out pretty easily. We finally went ahead and got the control arms and the toe arms installed, and this is how it looks underneath the car. If you're installing the control arms, it's a little bit annoying to get everything lined up, but that was the most annoying part of the whole entire process. So let's go ahead and air out the car for the first time, and I'm really hoping that this helps the fitment in the rear. Oh my god, this is so sick. So basically the tire right now is hitting the fender liner on the top, so it can't go any lower than this. And also the wheel is pretty much covered a bit by the fender. If I take a step back, you guys can take a look over here, but it definitely did help with the rear fitment. I don't know if you guys remember how high the car was sitting up last time, but now this honestly looks so sick. So just by looking at this, I can tell that the toe is completely off, and that usually happens after installing toe arms. So what we're gonna need to do is drop the car off for an alignment, and then after the alignment, we'll pick the camera back up and we'll get some before and after clips. Right now, just staring at it, I am super happy with how it came out. The rear air suspension isn't sitting anywhere where I want it to be, but the backs are honestly just insane. Look how much of a wheel gap there is. I can literally put my whole hand through and there's still more space.
19, since 2016, you know what I mean. Oh, when I pull up on your crib, just be ready to leave. Say I leave tonight, and I fly out of sight.
So this right here is how the FRS is looking, and honestly it looks so sick with the rear end. Finally, it is the stance that I wanted. Now the fronts look a little bit weird, and I do know that. I am going to be adding a little bit more camber, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the fronts to match the rears. Right now the front is sitting a little bit high just because the setup I have is a bit too aggressive. So if you guys look closely at the front, the tire is pretty much touching the fender, so I definitely do need to add some camber on there so that doesn't happen. This right here is how the FRS is looking, and again, I am super happy with the results. The Stance V2 control arms definitely did change the car, and the car is finally aired out on the ground. This right here is my ride height, and I definitely could have went lower, but in my area there is a lot of bumps and there's a lot of things on the road all the time, so I decided to go ahead and have the car a little bit higher than usual just so I can clear a couple of things. For those of you guys that don't know, recently we had to repair this rear bumper right over here because it did crack from being too low, so I don't want to have to do that, so the ride height is a bit higher than normal. As you guys can see, this is a very comfortable setup, and I do have a lot of clearance to go ahead and clear speed bumps, potholes, and anything that comes into the way. Okay, so breaking down the cost of the amount I spend on going ahead and bagging the FRS. First things first, the bags were $3,400. The installation on the bags were $1,500. The Stance V2 control arms in the rear with duty, shipping, and everything came close to $1,000. Both the tow arms were $200 each. I had to go ahead and get extended lugs in the front, which cost me another $60. And with that, the grand total is on the screen right now. This is how much money I've spent on bagging this car. I've spent close to $7 grand bagging the FRS with all the parts that we went ahead and threw on the car. Although that's super expensive, I'm super happy with how the car looks right now, and I'm really excited for all the things that are coming within the next couple of months. As you guys just saw, the rear end of the FRS is now looking so much better with the Stance V2 control arms that we did install in today's video. The front still need adjusting, and we're gonna go ahead and do that later. The car just got back from the alignment shop, and I kind of want to enjoy it how it is for now. We're definitely going to be adding a bit more camber in the front to drop the front, but I'm also waiting on a new front lip and side skirts to come in, and I want to go ahead and dial in the fitment once those are installed. But other than that, I'm super happy that the setup is basically complete. I have everything I need to go ahead and do the adjustments. I'm just gonna go ahead and wait on the fronts. Now, the install for me personally was annoying. The shop that went ahead and installed the bags on my car decided to torque everything down to a crazy spec, so it was very hard to remove some of the bolts, and that's what took the longest amount of time. So I had to go ahead and order power tools to go and remove the 4 bolts that are connected to the control arm. Now, if you guys are installing the Stance V2 control arms or the tow arms, I would recommend power tools anyways. It makes the job a lot easier. So if you guys want to go ahead and use the tutorial that I use, I'll have that linked in the description along with all the products that we use in today's video. All of those will be linked down there as well. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys have made it this far, definitely hit this video with a like. If you guys are new here, scroll down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.
When I pull up on you, baby, just be ready to leave. Say I love you tonight, then I fly out of sight. Oh, babe.